Happy Wednesday, folks. We're going to go and talk about the Detroit Lions free agency news and rumors for today. We're going to go over Dan Skipper resigning with the Detroit Lions. CJ Gardner-Johnson is gone. Amik Robertson contract, why it's good. DJ Reader set to visit the Detroit Lions. We're going to talk about him quite a bit in this video. And draft plans so far after the beginning of free agency. Let's get this thing started right now. Go ahead and smash that subscribe button. We're trying to continue to grow to the channel, get to 66,100 subscribers. We're about 50 away, so go ahead and smash that subscribe button if you are a Lions fan. Let's get into Lions news really quick. The Detroit Lions have re-signed Dan Skipper to a one-year deal. We all love Dan Skipper. Dan Skipper for the Detroit Lions is he's kind of like a legend now. You know, a couple years ago, everyone was talking about Skip. And obviously what happened with the Dallas Cowboys and, of course, Hard Knocks where he teared up. Everybody's a fan of Dan Skipper. He has become a player's player, right? He's become a fan's player. He's become all around really good for the fan base, and it's really good to see Dan Skipper come back. This is one of the players that I wanted to see come back. Why? Not necessarily of what he does specifically on the field, in which he actually is good for a swing tackle / tight end. I actually like what he does there. But he's such a emotional player, and I think it affects the locker room as well. And he's huge. So we are happy for Dan Skipper to be back here. So question for you. Grade the Dan Skipper re-signing here, A, B, C, D, or F. Me? Of course I'm giving it A. It's Skip. Gotta give it an A. Let me know in the comments below. One player stays and another one goes. And CJ Gardner-Johnson is gone from the Detroit. The Detroit Lions will not be bringing back CJ Gardner-Johnson for the second year. First reported by the NFL Network's Tom Pelissero. CJ Gardner-Johnson returning to Philadelphia Eagles on a 3-year deal worth up to $33 million. Now, I like CJ Gardner-Johnson. I think a lot of people did or didn't. He's one of those players where you like him or you don't, right? And the rumor, it's not really rumor, the truth is players on the defensive side, some of the players, they didn't really like CJ Gardner-Johnson's talking all that much. In all honesty, some coaches didn't really like the way he operated. And obviously, when you're waving goodbye to the San Francisco 49ers in the first half of the game and then you lose, it definitely looks bad upon you. Me, I like CJ Gardner-Johnson. I never had any hate for him. I like the ability to trash talk. That's okay, though. Didn't fit here. He's going back to Philadelphia. So what does that mean for the Detroit Lions? Well, we got Brian Branch, Kirby Joseph, Afutu Bell-Fonwu, and we're probably going to get another safety. Now, this could be a situation where they just get a backup guy, not a big deal, right? Someone a depth chart-wise in free agency, or they can draft a guy in the draft maybe a little bit later. They have all the options here. Safety's not a serious issue for the Detroit Lions. I mean, literally, Brian Branch, he could be a safety, right? And he could play corner. He could do everything. That's what he does. So, for me, they're fine with letting CJ Gardner-Johnson down because the Lions are good at depth at that position. When you got Brian Branch who could play both, you're good to go. Kirby Joseph and Afutu Bell-Fonwu played excellent. Excellent. And we got to remember, they did bring in Amik Robertson. They did bring Carlton Davis. You still got Emmanuel Mosley and Cam Sutton. So one of these guys probably played nickel, so that would make Brian Branch maybe a little bit more in the safety position. So not that big of a situation for that. But you want to know what is a big situation? Man, the sponsor of today's show. Today's show is sponsored by Prize Picks, and you know that I love me some Prize Picks. PrizePicks.com/CLNS, code CLNS. They'll match your deposit, match up to $100. And if you want to spice up your NFL Sunday, get started with Prize Picks right now. Prize Picks is a skill-based, real money daily fantasy sports platform, and if you're looking to have more fun on game day, look no further than Prize Picks. You want to play alongside some of Prize Picks' favorite players like rapper Meek Mill and comedian Andrew Schultz? You can now find community plays in the promos tab of the app to view entries some of the biggest names of the Prize Picks community each week. Prize Picks even offers a reboot policy so that your entries stay in play even if one of your players gets injured. For football and basketball games, if a player exits the game in the first half and does not return in the second half, that player is rebooted. Prize Picks is the only daily fantasy sports platform with an injury insurance policy. For tonight's game, I got two players getting more than 0.5 points, and that's Charlie Coyle and Justin Falk from hockey. So get started with Prize Picks right now. It's prizepicks.com/CLNS, code CLNS, for a deposit match up to $100. Why is it code CLNS? Because that's our ad agency partner. Use code CLNS. It's real easy. 4 letters get $100 match when you sign up. So download the app today. The link will be in the description and comment section of this video. It's prizepicks.com/CLNS, code CLNS. So the Detroit Lions in free agency so far re-signed Dan Skipper, Graham Glasgow, right? They went and they got 2 cornerbacks, one via trade, one in free agency, and then Marcus Davenport at the edge position from the Minnesota Vikings, but formerly really of the New Orleans Saints. So, as of right now, I want you to grade Lions free agency so far. A, B, C, D, or F. I have a feeling a lot of people are probably going to go between B and C or down below because I'm seeing the comments and what everybody's saying in videos. The Detroit Lions signed a player yesterday. Amik Robertson, cornerback from the Raiders. And guess what? His deal is not big at all. This year, he's only got to do $1.2 million base salary guaranteed. $1.65 million prorated signing bonus. $2.85 cap hit. $4.5 million cap if cut. That's a nothing contract, folks. This year, it's nothing. Getting a good player for nothing. Next year, it goes up a little bit. $4.2 million base, $1.65 prorated, $500,000 roster bonus, $50,000 workout bonus, $6.4 million cap, $1.65 million cap hit. So guess what? You know what this means? If he sucks, the Lions can easily cut him after this year, and it's going to save the money around what? Little less than $5 million next year's in cap, because only dead cap is 1.65. So this is basically a 1-year deal, okay? And it's nothing big against the cap this year. Real good. So while you know that, so I'm going to ask you again, grade the free agency so far, A, B, C, D, or F. It's all about finances as well. Let me know in the comments below. Okay, so we have rumors, right? We have a player that's going to be visiting the Detroit Lions here very soon. And that is defensive tackle DJ Reader, 6'3", 335 pounds out of Clemson. He is from the Cincinnati Bengals, 14 games last year, 1 sack, 20 solos, 0 forced fumbles. And you say those stats blow. Well, because he's not a pass rushing interior defensive lineman. That's not what he is. He's one of the best in football in stopping the run. What do the Detroit Lions want to do? Stop the run. What happened so far this free agency? Well, Josh Jacobs comes a Green Bay Packer. DeAndre Swift comes a Chicago Bear. Right? And then the Vikings, they weren't going to get Aaron Jones from the Green Bay Packers. So the running game in the NFC North significantly went up. And so we need help stopping the run so this could do it. We look at the depth right now of the interior, Broderick Martin, Levi Onwuzurike, Benito Jones, Aleem McNeil. Now, you're going to look at one of those names and say, yeah, he's a contributor, Aleem McNeil. Benito Jones, somewhat of a contributor. But the other guys, Broderick Martin, haven't done anything. We expect him to do something. Levi Onwuzurike is not really the run-stuffing type of guy. So DJ Reader would be really nice upon the Detroit Lions defensive line because we need help stopping the run. But we also, let's keep 100, need help pass rushing from the interior, and that's not what he's going to be doing. But we do need help on the interior. We definitely would love to bolster up the stop of the run. So that's what he can do for the Detroit Lions. He's visiting another team as well, so it's not guaranteed. We've heard rumors of the Lions liking players, but guess that they sign with other teams. Hunter, he went signed with the Houston Texans. The Lions rumored to like them. So it doesn't mean they necessarily were going to get him, but the Lions are very much interested in him. Absolutely, they are. 100%. So, right now, question for you. Grade the all of Detroit Lions free agency again. I want to see what you got. A, B, C, D, or F. I really want to curious to see what you guys think on this one. This is very interesting to me. Let's continue on here and talk about the draft after free agency so far. And this quote came from me. The Detroit Lions are now able to be flexible with the 29th pick in the draft. Now, I know a lot of people said, Mike, on the video yesterday, you said they're not going to go corner. It did not say they're not going to go corner at 29. I'm saying they're now flexible with that position. They're not forced to go corner. They're not forced to go edge. They're not forced to go DT. They're not forced to go guard. And I do think that the odds of guard and edge and interior went up after the Lions acquiring 2 corners in free agency this year. I definitely do believe the odds went up for that. But make no mistake about it, folks. If a great cornerback falls to the Lions at 29, they're going to take it. Right? If a great player falls there, they're going to take it. It's best player available. So corner's not out of the possibility of 29. It's made the Lions flexible. So if there is a run, they're not forced to jump up and take a corner. They can relax and maybe take the best edge, the best DT, the best guard. And make no mistake about it, when I look at the Lions' needs right now, I would say guard is probably 1. Edge is probably 2. DT is probably 3, and corner is probably 4. Because of what they did so far in free agency. Now it's just the beginning of free agency. It just started. So there's a lot of movement to go. But right now, what I'm saying, what the Lions are going to be doing is they're flexible with that selection. And that's always a good thing, to be flexible. You don't want to be forced to make a selection. So Brad Holmes is getting it done right there. I know a lot of people are really disappointed in free agency. Free agency is not something that we generally are splash in with Brad Holmes' tenure. We just got to wait and see how this goes, as well as the NFL draft, in which I'm more bigger on the draft for sure. With that said, folks, go ahead and subscribe. Hit that notification bell. With that said, adios.